Hey, how are you guys doing? Okay, let me get this set up. It feels a little high. We're okay. All right. Happy Monday. I feel like I haven't had a chance to do many periscopes this month because October has just been a little bit busy with the Right 31 Days Challenge and travel and all kinds of stuff. So I thought I would pop in here quickly. I'm sorry, I feel like you're seeing a lot of my ceiling, but we're going to go with it because, hey, it's Monday. Why not? What'd you guys do this weekend? Anything fun? Chat with me. If you are new to Periscope, you can just chat in the little chat box at the bottom. If you want to send hearts, click the screen. If you want to share this Periscope with your friends, swipe right, and then you can share on Twitter, and you can share on Facebook, and you can share with your Periscope followers. So, okay, hold on just 1 second here. Gonna just go ahead and do that. Okay, so you have a guilty confession. You didn't make it the whole way through 31 days. That is okay. You did your best. You tried, and that is important. Especially if this is your first time trying to take on the challenge, then it is very hard. It's a very hard writing challenge, but you committed to trying it. And trying new stuff can be really scary and hard. So good for you. You did a brave thing. So thanks for at least hanging out with me and trying it. So I wanted to, you did not, okay, first of all, let's just stop that. If you did not write 31 posts this month for the 31 Days Challenge, and for those of you who have no idea what I'm talking about, I'm sorry. But listen, you didn't let anybody down. No one's going to come knock on your door and be like, sorry, you failed. You don't get to be a blogger anymore. It happens. Life happens. We don't always finish all of the great ideas we have. Do you know how many spreadsheets of great ideas for series I have that I've never once even started once I've gotten it all out of my head? You know, it is okay. It really is. Sometimes it just happens. But you got into the practice of hopefully writing some stuff, and hopefully you still really like your topic, and you didn't let anyone down. And trust me, you are not the only one who didn't finish. So just give yourself a hug. It'll be okay. And hopefully next year, now that you've got a little bit of practice under your belt, next October, maybe you'll jump back in and try it again. So, see, you love your topic. That's perfect. See, you got something awesome out of it. I consider that a success. So, we're going to go with that. So this weekend, I was at the Raising Generations Today conference, which my amazing friend September runs and hosts, and is just, I mean, it's crazy. She's such a visionary. It's a conference for moms held in upstate New York, and I was very, very grateful to be invited to go and speak to encourage working moms, which was really special to my heart because I go to conferences a lot and feel like that's a piece that's missing. As a working mom, I feel like sometimes I don't fit into all the categories that they cover. So I was really, really excited to offer some encouragement there. And so I wanted to just share, there were 4 things I was thinking about for this weekend. And because I'm in the middle of my 31-day series, I can't blog about my conference recap until November. So I didn't want to forget these things that God had just put on my heart to share. So I thought I'd share them on Periscope. So here's kind of a funny story. So the first lesson I learned this weekend was to trust God in the mix-ups because he always has a better plan. So whenever I got to the airport, I'd been texting back and forth with a couple of the girls who were helping with the conference. I was like, hey, so how do I get from the airport to the hotel? And there was a shuttle that was supposed to pick me up, and it was going to be perfect. I was just going to walk out of the airport. It's a small airport. I figured it would be pretty easy. Find the shuttle, the van that had the hotel's name on the side of it, right? You just get on and it takes you to the hotel. Except there was no shuttle. There was no shuttle outside. And I was like, all right, well, there's supposed to be a shuttle. What am I supposed to do here? Fortunately, my amazing friend Denise, who flew in very early that morning on a red eye from California, was volunteering to drive people back and forth from the airport to the hotel. And because this is a conference that really ministers locally to the moms who are there, there weren't that many of us flying in, so it was mostly speakers who were flying in. And so she offered to come pick me up. I had sent her a message on Voxer, and I was like, are you anywhere nearby? And she's like, yeah, I have to pick one other person up. And it was really interesting the way God used that, because had I gotten on the shuttle, I would have been all by myself and just gone to the hotel and checked in, done my thing, and that would have been it. But he had a better plan. And the person we were picking up was Claire Smith, who I did not connect, that I had been following for a very long time on Instagram. She recently rebranded, which I think is part of the reason I didn't put two and two together. But her heart for women and for fitness and for encouragement and just loving on women in some of the same ways that God's put on my heart this year is so beautiful. And so we picked her up. And she was, other than Denise, the first person I saw from the conference. And we hung out all weekend, and it was amazing. But I wouldn't have had that opportunity if everything would have gone according to the plans I thought were supposed to happen. So that was the first thing I learned, was that sometimes God allows these little mix-ups because he knows that his plan is way better than ours. So I really love being able to control those situations and know exactly what's going to happen and when. And it was a great reminder that sometimes I just need to show up, and God's going to take care of all the little things and add in some really surprising blessings along the way. So I made an amazing friend who you guys all need to go check out. Claire Smith Official is her Instagram name, and she has a blog that you just definitely want to follow. So loved meeting her and spending time with her. So the other thing number two, I know, official, right? Thing number two, that God put on my heart to share was that yes, she did do a Periscope from her hotel room. Yes, Claire's awesome. So she was rooming with my good friend Stacy. So the second thing that God put on my heart as just a really beautiful lesson this weekend was to give the gift of presence, right? Not presence like with a T, but your actual presence. Because there were so many moments during the conference to just sit and connect with someone, to hear their story, to ask them questions, to learn more about them. And one of the things that I learned from watching some of the other speakers and some of the other attendees was just how beautiful it was whenever they would take the time to really invest time, even if it was just 5 or 10 minutes, into the life of one of the other mamas that was there, and ask about their story and care about it and spend time with them, and not be looking for who the next person might be that they could connect with or what the next thing on the agenda was, but just to sit and connect and be in that space with that person. It really, really was very special. And as an introvert, I love that. I think there's something really beautiful about learning someone else's story. And, you know, it's whenever the silly moments happen, right? You're sitting on a sofa and just chatting and learning about each other and talking, and there's nothing else that needs to happen except the two of you connecting and learning about each other. So giving the gift of presence. If you get a chance to do that with somebody that God puts in your life this week, I would encourage you just to slow down a little bit and just be really aware of that, what that gift is like, because we can all do that, right? We can all give somebody an extra few minutes of just focus and concentration and awareness that we care about them, that we know that they're the person God has in front of us, and that we're not just killing time, right, to get to the next thing. So that was the second thing that I learned this weekend. The third one actually was part of my talk. And I just wanted to encourage you, because I don't know where you are, where God has you this week, but I just want you to know that you're seen, right? You're seen by the God who knows exactly how many hairs are on your head. He's counted every one, and he has not put you where you are by mistake. He has not forgotten where he's put you. He has not made a mistake about the place he's given you to shine and do work for his kingdom, right? So wherever you are, whatever you're feeling this week about maybe your ministry or your job or your calling or your motherhood or your being a wife or a friend, any of that, God knows every one of those worries and concerns on your heart, but he did not make a mistake about where you are, right? And he sees you and he hears you and he knows you. So be encouraged in that this week. And then finally, and I meant to grab one of them, totally forgot. It's been one of those kind of Mondays, just jumping from one thing to the next. But I was really encouraged to share. You might have read it. It's from a book called, and now I forget, something about a Mary Hart in a Martha world. I'm sorry to the author that I just butchered your book title. But there's a story in it that I used during my talk about how there's a man who got asked to carry 3 rocks up to the top of a mountain, right? And so along the way, he passes other people and he's got his rocks in this wagon and there's extra room in it and he's on his way anyway. And so whenever these people he's passing are like, hey, I have a rock. Can you take my rock to the top of the mountain? He's like, sure, I have room. Sure, I can do that. I'm on my way anyway. And so by the time he gets halfway up the mountain, he's got this huge wagon load full of rocks instead of just the 3 that God has entrusted him with. And he can't do it. The job's too hard. And so he complains to God and asks why he's given him a job that's so impossible to do. And God takes all the other people's rocks out of the wagon until there's just the 3 left. And he says, just carry the load I gave you, right? Totally paraphrasing this story, by the way. You should find the actual one. It's much better. But basically, he's saying, listen, I gave you exactly how much I knew that you could carry to the top of this mountain because I knew how steep it was going to be. Yes, having a Mary Hart in a Martha world. Thank you for saving me. Thank you. Yes, Joanna Weaver. See, there we go. Proper shout outs and proper titles. Please, yes. So it was such a good reminder to me that, you know, God knows what's coming up ahead. I might not be able to see the incline. So I might wonder why I don't have more, why he hasn't given me bigger, or why he hasn't, you know, trusted me with what I think I can handle, okay? So as I'm going along, I'm like, oh, I have all this space and time and energy and skill. Sure, I can take that for you. And yeah, I can do that job for you. And yeah, why not just add your rocks to my pile? I'm headed that way anyway, because that's what we do, right? We just take everybody else's rocks with us. And it was such a good reminder to me that God's like, no, just because you can doesn't mean that you should. And sometimes you need to say no to things because that's not what God has planned for you to carry in this season. And so I gave everybody rocks, which was really funny. My suitcase definitely got checked at least 3 times on my trip as I was flying because I had little, you know, the little TSA tags they put in there when they have to open your suitcase and look through it. I'm pretty sure it's because I traveled with rocks. I had rocks in my suitcase. So I was like, I'm sorry, TSA, for my dangerous little, and they're not even like garden rocks. They're fancy little purple rocks, like the kind you can make those mosaic things with, or put in the bottom of a fish tank, I guess. So I hope they enjoyed looking through all of my dirty clothes. Get what you get. So anyway, I had given everybody who was in my session one of those little rocks just as a reminder when they go home, and a reminder for you guys. I would give you all one if I could pass them through my phone. But God has trusted you with certain things, with certain rocks, right? So as this week goes, maybe don't pick up everybody else's rocks, because whenever you start carrying everybody else's stuff, you're going to get really exhausted and you're going to get really burnt out. You're going to get really bitter about it. And God doesn't want that. He wants you to do the work He has planned for you in this season. He wants you to be able to do it with the energy and the strength that He knows that you have right now. And He wants to be able to have you enjoy that journey with Him, right? So this week, lay down the rocks that are not yours, okay? And just pray that God would give those other rocks back to the people He wants to have them. And that's okay. He knows. He'll take care of that for you. You can let that burden go, right? Let other people carry their own load. So those were the 4 things that I took away from Raising Generations this weekend. So hopefully September will have, I know the recordings for the sessions are available. I'm not sure if you can buy them online or not, but I know they were for sale at the end of the conference. And hopefully she is resting with her family. So if you think of it, pray for September and the conference team. It was a lot of work, and those things do not happen without lots of prayer and lots of pouring out. So just pray that her whole team would be refreshed, that the speakers who were there would have lots of coffee today, that we would be refreshed and refilled so that we can continue with the next things that God has for us. So anyway, I just wanted to share that. I am going to try to be much better about being more consistent with these again now that October is almost over. We did it. But I'll be on tomorrow for the Encourage Book Club. So if you follow Encourage, at Encourage, here on Periscope, you'll see me. And then I'm going to try to hop on Friday just to do a little Friday favorites, write 31 days, wrap up kind of things. So thank you for those of you who saved me by explaining who the author and the, actual name of that book was. It's been a long couple of days, so I appreciate the help. So, all right, guys. Make sure that you are laying down everybody else's rocks this week, okay? Only your own stuff, okay? I'm going to trust you to do it because I can't see you. You're not like nodding, or I'm going to assume that hearts mean agreement, so we're good. Okay. Happy Monday, you guys. If you're doing the right 31 days challenge, give yourself grace if you didn't do it all, and push through if you're still writing. So I'll see you guys soon. Bye.